Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. Vancouver's safe injection site has been the source of considerable controversy for several years now. Despite numerous studies that show it's been saving lives in the downtown east side, the federal government's attempts to shut it down has a group of supporters heading to the Supreme Court of Canada. James Lewis reports.
It's been a source of much controversy since its inception 8 years ago, and now supporters of Vancouver's safe injection site are lobbying against the federal government's effort to shut it down.
It's time to end the uncertainty for Insight, for its clients and its staff.
There are people out there like the Conservative government that didn't want us doing this work, who don't want us to continue doing this work, and for whatever reasons don't want us saving these valuable lives.
They point to several studies and peer reviews which they claim clearly prove Insight has reduced overdose fatalities and the spread of disease in the downtown east side.
Really, this should not be a political issue, that it will cost people's lives if it ends up in politics.
An addiction is an illness, and it often goes along with mental illness. And these most vulnerable people deserve health care.
Lawyer Marjorie Brown is representing Insight and their supporters at the Supreme Court of Canada. She says the operation is not only legally binding, but morally important.
And that evidence overwhelmingly supports Insight as an effective healthcare operation.
After 8 years of political and judicial strife, supporters hope a victory in court will keep Insight's doors open permanently. James Lewis in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
For more on this story, we're joined by reporter Carmen Weld. She's been tracking the latest developments and now joins us live. Carmen, what's the latest on Insight?
Well, Nigar, the High Court is being asked to decide whether Insight should be closed, which may go against the rights of those living on the downtown east side, or it should stay open as a health facility under provincial jurisdiction. Despite two lower court rulings in favor of Insight, the Conservative government wants to shut it down, saying that the facility fosters addiction. Now, they say that their federal powers over criminal law trump the BC provincial jurisdiction over health. But, you know, this really goes against the Conservative government's new tough on crime agenda. Nagar?
All right, thank you, Carmen. That was Carmen Weld reporting live for us.
Well, over recent weeks, right here at BCIT, anti-homophobia posters have been vandalized. And it's not the first time either. This marks the second year in a row, and as Megan Turcato reports, it's left some homosexual students feeling not only unwelcome, but also concerned.
The posters were meant to celebrate the International Day Against Homophobia.
The poster campaign that we developed uses images that may make some people uncomfortable. It was specifically designed to push people's boundaries a little bit.
But a rash of vandalism has left some feeling less welcome than ever.
You can imagine if you were a gay student and you saw a poster like this, and the next day people had drawn penises all over it, you might not be willing to speak to your classmates about yourself and be open about yourself. And you know, what's disturbing about it is that's how they're going to treat a poster campaign. How are they actually treating our LGBT students?
Mark Coderre runs Technically Queer, a club for LGBT students. Other students have confided in him about being out at BCIT.
He followed me to a very hidden stairwell in the campus so that nobody would see him, and told me he wanted to be part of TQ, he wanted to be out, he wanted to take part in all of this. He was crying. Big burly student, he was, I don't know, 20, 22, somewhere in there. He was a big guy, but he was crying. He wanted to be part of everything, but he couldn't. He was scared what his fellow classmates would do to him.
Batson will continue to help students be more inclusive of those sitting next to them, regardless of their sexuality.
Honestly, it makes me want to approach the issue more. My office has changed its responsibilities and scope for next year. Anti-homophobia is going to be one of my primary objectives.
Despite the negativity, the BCIT Burnaby campus will still mark the International Day Against Homophobia next week by flying the rainbow flag. Megan Turcato in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Well, Vancouver is hosting its second annual Craft Beer Week. And as Gerv Bod found out, one local brewery is using the festival to increase exposure and also celebrate the craft beer tradition in the city.
David Vargas is the brewmaster at Red Truck Brewery, which is one of the smallest breweries taking part in the second annual Vancouver Craft Beer Week.
We've really started from just 2 people, myself Champagne, and we've grown from there.
Vargas says Beer Week plays a major role in marketing and branding for the company, and this year's event should increase exposure.
I would say yes, it certainly did. It certainly brought a lot of exposure to us for the very first year, because a lot of people didn't know about it. I would say there's a larger effort by Vancouver Craft Beer Week promoting on a larger scale, and I think that's largely helped.
Chris Biersgaard, the marketing director for Beer Week, says the event is all about the small breweries such as Red Truck.
Craft Beer Week wouldn't even exist without those guys. I mean, without their support and getting behind us and kind of backing, quite frankly, what is a crazy idea in a lot of cases, we wouldn't have had the funds to do the marketing and try and pull all this together and pull it off. I mean, nobody is particularly in it to make a whole bunch of money, but I think everybody's in it because of a love and passion for craft beer and wanting to showcase the culture that's emerging here in Vancouver.
Vargas says the highlight of Beer Week isn't the sales for his company, but the satisfaction of knowing people enjoy the product he works hard to produce.
Having someone come up and just say, I just tried your beer and I really loved it, or going to one of these beer events.
Vancouver Craft Beer Week runs from May 6th to May 14th. Gerv Bod in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
A Burnaby business is helping treat dogs in a holistic way. As Casey Pitts found out, the healing methods can even be fun for man's best friend.
Bailey the dog is at Waterworks Paw Spa, a therapy center for injured canines. Their main feature is a saltwater pool. According to Dr. Paulin, humans and pets can be treated in similar ways.
Because people are much more aware of holistic medicine and how it helps them, whether they get massage or acupuncture or take herbs themselves, then they realize the benefit, they want the same thing for their pets.
Bailey's recovery has helped owner Erica rediscover her pet's playful side.
He has trouble getting down. He has bad arthritis now. So the swimming is the only real exercise he has.
Waterworks has helped countless dogs gain a higher standard of life, and Dr. Paulin says Bailey is no exception.
I think that if he were only treated in the conventional way, the family probably would have sensed the quality of life was really poor, and they probably would have seriously considered, should we end his life? And now you see a guy who's a little stiff, but he's so happy in the water that that's not what you're thinking about.
Owner of Waterworks, Tanya Vanderhamen, gets satisfaction knowing her day-to-day job helps the lives of both dogs and their owners.
I don't love my job, no. I love my job, and like I say, I don't know what's better, seeing the look on the dog's face or the look on the parent's face, and then just helping them have a better quality of life. So I'm just very fortunate. I'm very happy.
With an open house coming up soon, Waterworks hopes more owners will choose holistic methods for their pets. Casey Pitts in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Up next on BCIT Magazine, Connor Hammond joins us with a look at sports. We're back in a moment.